Alright, so we're here making a part two to this update, this video update for my channel. And let's get these out of the way. So basically what I did was I ended the first video, I ended part one, and then I just rewatched the whole thing to make sure that it kind of had a flow. It like flowed well. The ideas flowed nicely and stuff like that. Might have to close the door that goes up to the second floor because there's just some people talking up there and there's like too much sound coming down. And I don't know if other people find making videos kind of embarrassing, but there are a lot of people who won't make a video in the same room as other people. So let me go check that really quick. There we go. So the lighting is actually super nice in this room. I was just on Snapchat, I was on Snapchat this morning. But I was on Snapchat like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I was like snapping one of my friends. I was like, bro, look at the ambiance of this room. I've got a lamp right there. What's up?
Hey.
You going somewhere?
Door dashing.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Isn't this a fire fit?
Yeah. I seen you wear it.
Yeah.
Is that you found that turtleneck in the...
It's not a turtleneck. Yeah, I guess it is a turtleneck, right? Yeah, within Williams stuff.
Oh, okay.
What are you up to?
Making a video.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Celebrity. What do y'all think? 185 pounds of sex appeal. And I will steal your girl.
a little, what do they call that when a play, like, you're halfway through a play? Intermission. This is intermission.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
With the thing. I can't tell what you're saying. Oh. A secret message from my brother to me that he didn't want to be said on camera. He was like minding him some stuff. He's like, I had to like interpret what he's saying. So actually my brother has an Andrew Tate poster down here. It's like right there. A poster of Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate getting taken to jail. This was like, that was last year, I imagine. But he got that poster last year at some point. So yeah. So I was talking about Snapchat. I was saying like how I was snapping my friend like 2 weeks ago, and I was telling him about the ambiance of this room. Like I was saying, there's a lamp right there. I have a downstairs bathroom, which is very convenient, and then I have this lamp right behind me. And it actually, I think if I sit right here, it looks like I have a halo or something because of the way that the lamp is up on the ceiling. Anyways, that's pretty cool. If I were to turn on the main light, which is like right above me, it just would not look as nice. So actually, I actually, where I'm sitting right now on this couch, I plan to get a desk with a chair and I'm getting a used laptop from my dad's work. They have like all these spare laptops that are like haven't been updated, like the software hasn't been updated, so they just kind of keep them in storage. So they're gonna wipe all of the company programs off of it and then like send it to me, which will be pretty cool. And oh, actually, I could get into more stuff that I'm planning on doing in the future. I want to get a longboard, and I want to. So this neighborhood that we moved into, right? I used to live in California in the Bay Area. I used to live specifically in Hayward. I grew up in San Leandro. I grew up in a house in San Leandro that was like we were almost on the border of San Leandro and Oakland. Like if you were to drive like 10 blocks towards Oakland, you would like just get into Oakland. And everybody knows Oakland. Everybody knows San Francisco. Everybody knows LA. But Bay Area's about 8 hours away from LA. So I grew up in San Leandro. And then when I was about, I want to say when I was 8 years old, I moved to Castro Valley, which is like a neighboring city. And that's the town that I did my Vision Quest in. There's 2 hills on either side of the valley. If you know what a valley is, it just means that there are hills surrounding like a river, and the river runs through the center of the it runs through the center of the city, and you build stuff on either side of the river. So I think that there's no longer a river running through Castro Valley. There are small like creeks and stuff, but it's mainly like there's a big lake called Lake Chabot, and it's a big lake with a man-made dam, and you can fish in it. I don't think you're allowed to swim, but you can boat. You can take a boat out on the lake. And it's got to be one of the smallest lakes that you've probably ever seen. It's very small. So anyways, then I moved to Hayward when I was in 6th grade. And Hayward is a neighboring city to both San Leandro and Castro Valley. And so it was so fun because the border, like there's just this like part of the city, part of Castro Valley that borders on Hayward, and the part of Hayward that borders on Castro Valley. Like every time I drive through it, because it's not like there's a stoplight and then like you go through the intersection and you're in another city. It's like you just kind of drive down a road and then you'll just all of a sudden be in Hayward. And it's like every time you cross into it, you notice that there is a little bit more ghetto energy. There's a little bit more like, almost like Oakland kind of energy in Hayward, where it's not like gangster or it's not like gangster or anything. It's just like there's more crime and shit like that than there is in Castro Valley. Castro Valley is a bunch of like old people. It's like a bunch of old codgers just in retirement, and they just send lots of money to their grandkids. And that's kind of what Castro Valley is. Castro Valley is a very quiet, kind of nothing to do kind of town. It's just got a lot of nature that looks nice. So anyways, I spent most of my life in those 3 cities. I've traveled all over the Bay Area. I've traveled all over California. I've been to Sacramento. I've been to LA. Been to San Diego, and I've been to Baja, which is like below LA. And I've even been to Mexico. I've even driven all the way from the Bay Area to Mexico, which is pretty crazy. Tijuana, Mexico. I went there for like a housing project. But but as I'm getting off topic, basically like we moved from California to Tennessee. It's almost 2 years ago, but not quite 2 years ago. In August, it'll be 2 years officially. But we moved here, and it's kind of taken a long time to get adjusted to this place that I never ever visited before I moved here. We don't really know people here. Although my two sisters, who one is going to middle school here in Nashville, and one is going to high school in Green Hill, and both of them are getting along famously with, friends, teachers, coaches. They're getting along famously with everybody. And I think it's just like when you're a little kid, it's just, or even in high school, it's just easier to like make friends and shit because you're in school. They kind of take that for granted. They don't realize, how it gets a tad bit more difficult to meet people outside of school. There's always places to work, but anyways, for me, it's taken a little bit longer to get acquainted with the people and the land and stuff. So something just popped up on my phone. I don't know what the hell it is. Okay, what am I at? I'm at 11 minutes. Try not to make this video like too much longer. But what could I update you guys on? There's not really a whole lot to update. That was kind of fun. It was honestly kind of fun to just go out on a tangent, out on a branch about where I grew up and stuff like that. I feel like it's nice to know that information about like channels that you're watching. It's nice to know where people grow up, all their just basic information. So long as it's not like creepy in a creepy way. It can be kind of like good to know that. Yeah, not much else to say. I was gonna go skydive. Oh, I think I was gonna mention longboarding. I'm trying to That's how I got out. That's how I got on the tangent. I went from things that I'm gonna do in the future to longboarding, and then I went from longboarding to I have a great neighborhood to this is where I grew up. So that's how I got way off track. But it's really hard not to get off track when like the majority of my conversations are kind of like just end up off track. But anyway, so I'm planning on like trying to longboard, like trying to get good on a skateboard or longboard. Mainly not a skateboard, mainly a longboard, which is different it's different in some way. I'm not exactly sure how it's different, but I know that it's a tiny bit different than a skateboard. And I've never really skateboarded before. I mean, I've attempted it obviously, but like I've never done it consistently or like mastered it. I used to use a Razor scooter all the time as a kid. But anyways, what I was gonna say is that I have a really great neighborhood for skateboarding and longboarding, and or scootering, biking, driving. I mean, like, all the roads are paved perfectly. There's no cracks, there's no potholes, anything. And I'm in an HOA, which means that the people who are driving through our HOA either live here or they are doing work on somebody's house. So like you don't get like a whole lot of traffic in and out of our neighborhood. So just from spending so much time driving around my own neighborhood in the mornings, I know that there's not a whole lot of activity outside of people's homes. So I feel like the morning time, I feel like really any time of day is the perfect time to take my longboard like up one of these inclines and just like fucking like just go down the hill. Not really a full hill, just go down the incline street and try to like improve my skills, my balance, coordination, things like that. Get used to the speed of skateboard. I've just always been like scared to like skateboard with like no handles. Like how much or no brake. Like how am I supposed to stop myself? So those are all things that I'll have to learn. And there's something about weight. There's something about controlling your weight or weight loss and skateboarding that I saw online. Something about how like it can actually help you maintain a healthy weight because it does something to your stress levels in your kidneys, which regulate insulin. And when there's too much cortisol or cholesterol in your system, your body's not regulating insulin very well, and that's why you get like a double chin or a lot of fat on your arms or fat in places that are not like that, like look like really bad, either double chin or on the arms or in the legs, like whatever. So and it all comes down to the insulin regulation in your kidneys. So because basically what skateboarding does is it helps regulate stress and it helps regulate adrenaline because your kidneys produce adrenaline, or the adrenaline glands are on top of the kidneys. So there's something about that whole sport that like makes people skinny. Like if you look at most skateboarders, they're lean, they're skinny, they're fit, and that's not necessarily because they have a great diet. It's just because they are regulating their stress very well. So anyway, I'm going to try to get into that. Hopefully that can help me lose weight and make weight loss not so there's not such a heavy emphasis on like diet or like cutting out like certain like foods or whatever. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of an update. I talked about my tattoo. And I guess I'm gonna make a part 3. I wasn't planning on making a part 3, but I'm gonna make a part 3 and talk about this girl who I met in while I was visiting my brother in Washington D.C. Who I got her Snapchat. She worked at a little taco shop that me, my brother, and my mom ate at while we were visiting my brother who's in the Air Force. I met this girl. She waited at our table. I got her Snapchat when we were leaving, and I'm just like, man, this girl is like super my type. And if I can just be the best version of myself, or if I can, maybe achieve small goals along the way, I might be able to like see her again and maybe make it into a little dating situation. Anyways, we'll see. But maybe I'll go more into depth about my visit to Washington D.C. and meeting this girl in part 3. So yeah. Anyways, peace.